everybody, how's it going? Can y'all hear me?
going on, you guys? Gaming Addict here. Let me shut my door before people try to be rude. Gaming Addict here, coming at you for another Addict Show. We are back. I'm here with my co-host, Hustle and Motivate. How you doing, Hustle?
Good. A little odd that I'm the co-host of something, but it feels good, man. I am extremely like humbled and excited for this new venture, man. We teaming up. We got other things in the works. I'm happy. I feel good. I'm actually sitting up straight and all that, dog. Like that's how I know I'm excited to be here because boy, I wake up 3:30 in the morning, and boy, am I tired. But I'm definitely glad to be here. I can't wait until we get into the show, man. But I want to say before we get started, thank you. Chose your boy. You could have chose anybody else, right? I know a few more people who are more qualified, but you're rocking with me. You got me incorporated with the fold, with the boys over here at ILP, man, boys and girls, and I'm excited for the future, man. Like this is an opportunity that I wasn't expecting, but I'm definitely glad that you chose me. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna keep it real, man.
There's a lot of things that people don't realize when it comes to these gaming stuff. Is like first you need availability. You need someone that's hungry, that they want to do it. Because after even a couple years of doing ILP, sometimes I wake up on ILP, I'm like, man, I was like, but you gotta just pull through it. And here recently, man, the gaming has been picking up. What I like the most about the year is the end of the year, because that's when all the good games coming out. I played Deathloop for 2 hours this morning, itching to get back into that. That's what I like the most, is when we play games. And at the end of the day, man, you've always showed the passion, and I've said on multiple times, on multiple occasions, for multiple different scenarios, I like seeing passion for this industry more than I like seeing anything else. So that's why it had to be you, man. It had to be you. First thing we're going to talk about today, Hustle, is I feel like, let's talk about Deathloop in general, because, I don't know if you've gotten any chance to play it. It just came out, so I don't definitely no, that's probably not the case. But, I played it for 2 hours, and, I have to say, first off, let's talk about the game in general. You said you did have some questions for me when it came to Deathloop. Let's get that out of the way.
I did. Me, what you'll soon realize about me, I'm a music buff. So, how's the soundtrack? How's the ambiance? How's the atmosphere? Is there anything that kind of stands out? Because I saw you streaming it earlier, but I couldn't charge my phone. So I was watching it on mute, and I was back and forth, but I couldn't really get into the stream, and I didn't have a chance to watch it. So, how's that ambiance?
It's good. Like, I can honestly say that in terms of music, there's a lot of different sounds that goes into it. Now, I do have some nitpicks about the game, but I will say that the music on this game's on point. And Arcane's usually pretty good at music. I remember, especially Dishonored, the original one. Like, I don't know if you played that, but there was like an ending song when you beat the game that I was like, to this day, I'll be pumping to that, man. And like, I like, just the sound of, previous games like Dishonored, when you first do the blink and you hear that, like, that weird, like, chaotic sound going on. And, what I really appreciate this is there are a lot of scenarios in Deathloop that doesn't have attention to detail, but there's a lot of scenarios that do. Obviously the perfect game is the attention to detail and everything, but, most games don't have that. But what I really enjoy about it is music is definitely one of the things that they have attention to detail.
Okay. All right. So my next question, and sadly, I haven't had a chance to play this just yet. How are the controls? Because it's a first-person title, and it doesn't make me motion sick or anything, but like a lot of first-person games, like I would have to play that now on a widescreen, so I got to get my widescreen back in here. But how are the controls, and are you able to see everything? Are you playing this on PC or the X?
PS5.
PS5. Oh, PS5. That's right. It's time exclusive, right?
Yeah, it's an exclusive.
Shame on me for not knowing. How? Okay, it's on console. And okay, how's the field of view on console?
The field of view is pretty good, actually. I didn't really have too much of an issue.
Gotcha.
I think that, like, some of the textures, like, for instance, like the water, it's a little iffy, but, like, especially going through the game and the sun going throughout the mountains, like, it's a really nice looking game. Now, obviously, it's not perfect. There are certain aspects of the game that you is just like, what is this? But not one time was I playing this game, I felt like it had, like, last gen graphics or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's
Gotcha.
kind of like
Okay,
Final
so,
Fantasy VII. The majority of the game looks amazing, but there are certain games that use like, yo, who made this?
okay, so I have a question about the game because I'm a little unfamiliar. Is this game like a roguelite or roguelike? I'm not sure how to pronounce that term, but is that how this game is? Like once you die, do you start all the way over?
so,
Um,
so pretty much how it goes is when you start the game, that you kind of like actually, spoiler alert. It's not really spoiler. I'm only talking about like the first 3 or 4 minutes, like 10 minutes of the
okay.
game. Like you're acknowledging that you're in this cycle, because obviously it kind of is a roguelike, but it's not a roguelike.
Hmm.
It's kind of weird because I feel like a roguelike is some form of randomation. You know what I'm saying? Like Hades, when you come into a god, the gods are random. Which god you're gonna get? What the
Right.
abilities that the gods have are random. Returnal, everything is random.
Right.
But on this, for the most part, from what I've played, everything is identical where it is. So like if you know where that you picked up that there's like a nail gun for stealth.
Mhm.
That gun, to my knowledge right now, because I only have 2 hours into it, is going to be there every time that you go get it. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
so kind of like the spawning in Demon Souls. I tried playing that game. I ain't no good at it, but I did try playing that game, and after a while, it's kind of like the Mega Man syndrome, the way you know where everything is the second you get through the layout of whatever level that you're on. Okay, all right, that's good to know. That's good to know. That might actually be a little bit easier for me because, boy, I tried playing Returnal. Uh, nope, I don't want no smoke, man.
I
You saw it.
I
You saw them
dropped it.
streams.
I still didn't
Mm-mm,
beat it. I dropped it. Like I got
I'm no
nothing against
good.
Returnal. It's a good game. In my opinion, it's a good game. You could tell the quality's there. You could tell the what I like that they did is a lot of people don't like the negative buffs you get in Returnal, but I feel like that's the only thing they did to evolve that like the roguelike experience. Like, maybe redefine that a little bit, but for the most
Mhm.
part, it is nice as like, yo, you could pick this up. It's going to give you a negative buff, but if you do certain requirements, you'll get rid of that negative buff and you'll just keep the buff. So
I
I
got
do
you.
feel like they did that good. That's good. But when I do die on Returnal, it's not like when I die in Hades. When I die in Hades, I'm like, yo, I got this. I just got to re-go do this again. When I die on Returnal, I'm like, I'm uninstalling this shit. Like, I'm done. Like, and I feel like they need to change that. I feel like there's not enough. What's what I'm looking for? There's not enough things where I feel like the game is rewarding you when you do die, and I think they need to change that aspect of it.
I I understand completely. All right, okay. So there are wow, okay. There are certain aspects from an arcane game that I really haven't experienced like that. So for a first timer like myself, do you think that I will be able to get into this game? And the reason why I asked that is because this game seems to be critically acclaimed. I saw the 9s and the 10s, and I saw a surprising 10 from GameSpot. And we know that they don't hand them joints out. They do not hand them out like
Yeah, I
Nino
kind of
Brown do
noticed
turkeys.
that.
We
I
know
ain't
they
gonna
don't.
lie. I did notice that they
I,
gave it a 10.
yeah, that, yeah, and we know how they go. Tamir Hassan, I think is the gentleman's name, but I know that, I know that this is a thing. I want to know just from your perspective, and I'm a pretty bad gamer. However, I can get through most things. Do you think that I would enjoy this game if I picked it up for the first time?
I think that it still feels like an arcane game. There is a
Okay.
lot of feeling that you get when playing like Dishonored and stuff. It was so bad that when I crouched, because in Dishonored, when you crouch, like you rotate your knife from like you're stabbing to someone to like you're slitting someone's throat. So like
Mm,
I always like that attention to detail because if you're crouching, you probably would have the dagger that way. You know what I'm saying? You didn't do that in here.
right.
I know that shouldn't make me feel away, but it does. It makes me feel away. I'm sitting here looking. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, why didn't you just rotate that dagger just a little bit? But that's not a big deal. Like I don't think so far I've played it. I don't think that there's a difficulty spike. Like for instance, like they gave me this rifle, and this
Mhm.
damn thing's busted. Like you can literally see me on the stream one shotting everyone with this damn rifle. Like, and
Mm.
I was getting into full blown combat with like 10, 15 people. Okay, when you die, you don't really die. Like you kind
Mm.
of like reverse time. You can do that twice before you die, and you have to start the
Oh,
whole day
okay.
over again.
Okay, you
So
get
I'm
two
sitting here,
rewinds. Gotcha.
like I died the first time. I'm like, okay, I'm not going on that ledge. It's over. Not going up there. So I stayed at the doorway, and I just kept like popping my head through, popping one off, and I just kept doing that. And then one of the big things I could criticize this game is like the faces look crazy, like not in a good way. Like it's like, come on, man, like you killing these people over and over again. Sometimes I see the same face, and they look like out like in my nightmares faces. Like
Wait. You mean like the same type of NPCs? Like enemy NPCs?
A lot of reused assets in this game.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
It's not the end of the world, but
yeah.
It is criticism, because most of the time when you see these people, you're going to end up shooting them anyway. What's up, Big Cloud? But
What up? What?
I just enjoy the concept of the game. Obviously, in the trailers, the whole point of the game. We're not bringing that up. I told the chat not to bring that up. She said,
what happened?
Addict died by falling off a cliff. Don't act like it happened.
Hey, I need a timestamp for that.
What
get a
was
timestamp.
funny is yeah, I actually bring it up in the stream. What was funny is, I mean, I don't think we're going to copyright my own self. That would be weird if I copyrighted my own self. But the funny thing was when I was playing it, like there's this part where you have to kill a bunch of people, right? I'm not going to really go too much into that. And I'm looking down on this ridge, and I'm like, okay, I already see it. So I'm looking down, and I'm like, okay, I got this. So I'm looking down this ridge, and I'm thinking that there's like a ramp right below me. So let me go ahead and bring this on the stream, because I'm sure people are wanting to. Everyone wants to laugh at me together. Yeah, that's okay. We can laugh at me together. So this is what happened, you guys. Like, So I was going up here. Now, if you notice here, there's a chick up here. I'll wait a couple seconds so it'll be on the stream, Hustle. So you'll see this chick right here. So I'm assuming this part here has a ramp. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they might not be able to see it because of.
Oh, I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, hold up. Let me go ahead, det this real quick, guys. Let me just put a display real quick, because you guys got to see this real quick. Like I felt there. Now you guys should be able to see it. So now this is pretty much how it went. Now obviously you go up these stairs. Now when you get here, there's this point right here, and there's this person here. So I'm thinking there's a ramp right here. You know what I'm saying? There's a ramp right here. So I'm not looking. I'm assuming there's a ramp I'm about to go onto, and then I fall completely down and die. and then I was sitting there. I was like, "We're not mentioning that. Like, we're not gonna mention that. That never happened. Like, because it looked really bad on my end, man. It looked really bad on my end. And I was sitting there. I died, and the moment I fell off that balcony, I'm like, I did not just do that. Like, I did not just do that. And what's funny is if it would have been like Dishonored, in mid drop, I would have blinked up there again. But there's no blink. I'm so used to having blink in an arcade game where I fell, it was just over. It was dead. I was over. And I'm sitting here, and the first thing I said when that happened is, that didn't happen. We ain't talking about that. I don't want no one bringing this up on ILP Sunday. And shout out to the $2 super chat from Gerald Mack. All hell to ILP. Salute Addicts World. We definitely need to get an emote made eventually for that. But that was the funny part. For the most part, you guys, I gotta hand it to Arcane. This is a good game. I've enjoyed it. Now, if you see the commercials for this, you have to assassinate people. And what I like, Dishonored was about assassinating people. So what I like is they took the same concept, the same gameplay, they evolved it, and they really pretty much made the same game. It's just with a twist. Now you're in a loop day over and over again. Oh, yeah. I don't know how that happened. Well, I'll fix that right now. Guys, don't worry about it, okay? But, So, we're sitting there, and you open it up, and then you pretty much have to kill 8 people in one day. So you have to kind of scout everything out. You have to find out where everyone is. And then you have to do things so fast because there's not a lot of time. And you have to kill all the people in the game, all the main people in the game. And so, that's the concept. And that's not really a spoiler. That was literally in the trailers to assassinate
I was going to say, and they mentioned the main antagonist in the trailer she's the black woman, and then this wasn't a trailer from the trailer.
Yo, she is amazing.
Okay,
Yo, every time
you gonna have to make me go back, man. All right.
Look, every time I see this person, I immediately like, oh, you like. And what's funny is like you're acknowledging. Can you please fix the camera? We cannot. I fixed it. You
fixed.
just have to wait a couple seconds. I fixed
it's good, y'all.
Like, what I love is you acknowledge that you're in a loop. You know what I'm saying? And she acknowledges she's in a loop. So you guys are constantly talking shit to each other. Like, and she's good, man. She's a really good character, and the main character, he's good too. I like him. Like, they did a really good job on this, man. And you know that's where we're going to get into the first topic. We're going to talk about. I know we need to see what these studios make for Microsoft, but to me, we see Psychonauts, we see the Outer Worlds, we see, you know, right now we're seeing. We see Wasteland 3. That was like an 80-some Metacritic. We're seeing what's that other studio that we seen Arcane with the Deathloop. Like, I don't know. Is it me? Am I being crazy, Hustle, or do I feel like you can justify the purchases already with just the quality of games that they've made? Sure, they haven't been an exclusive, and sure, some of them might be exclusive to PlayStation, but that to me that doesn't take away from the fact of the studios that they purchased and the type of games that they can make.
Well, yeah, it's good job for Microsoft, even though with Deathloop is going through what it's going through now. Good job, because these are the seeds that are being planted that we can see. We're going to see all of this grow into a tree. If this is like the first lineup, I haven't played the Ascent, but from what I understand, it was kind of like a lukewarm reception. But however. If all of this is like early work, and then pretty much once everything becomes exclusive, I'll use the NBA term. I know you're not necessarily in the sports, but the second they hit mid-season form or playoff form in terms of Microsoft and the different studios that they have, there's a lot to have for Game Pass. One of that Xbox Live reaction, that E3 reaction when I was with you guys, I said, you know, starting in July, like Microsoft really gave you a reason to own Game Pass from the Ascent, from Psychonauts 2, which I haven't played yet. You know, well, I know that this game isn't on Game Pass, but they've really given you an actual reason to like invest in the service. And yeah, if this game really takes off, like I will definitely see some PlayStation people coming on over to Xbox, the hardcore ones coming on over if this game hits the way that you just explained to me, because it sounds like it's like a lot of fun.
Yeah, Deathloop. Imagine if we get a sequel, and it's on
Xbox
you
will.
Only.
You will, and it will. I'm going to be honest.
You know how funny that would be. It's going to be. We're going to see Deathloop on Xbox only when the original one was only on PlayStation, and then you're going. Well, obviously, it's going to come to Xbox next year. But then you're going to see Sunset Overdrive 2 hitting PlayStation when it was only an Xbox game. I think it's crazy how things have turned around. Like, it's ironic. And then it's like, you know, people are talking about Starfield. Like, let's talk about the Bethesda games. Like, you know, I get it. People say Bethesda's past their prime. Wolfenstein says hi. Wolfenstein rated well. Done well. Everyone loved it. Doom Eternal was considered probably, to a lot of people, the game of the year last year. You know, and I get it. Like, their key studio, they're making Starfield, but it's like at the same time, to me, Hustle, we can't judge them off of making Starfield until we see more on Starfield. Like, and I get it. It goes the other way around. We got to see more in terms of what they're making.
I'll say in terms of like the Starfield thing, you know, that is what it is, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be Elder Scrolls 2.0. But just in space, or Fallout in space. And now I really don't want to get that analogy, but we'll definitely have to see what that is. I think the hopes are really high for that one, and for good reason. According to that little trailer that we saw, it looked cool, man, and I can't wait to see more. I know I think it was either yourself or was a Game Forte. I can't remember who it was. Yeah, I said, oh man, I wish we would have saw gameplay. Nah, the rollout is what the rollout is. Here's a little CGI trailer. We know the joint dropping next year, so around E3, and we know how Bethesda do it at E3 time anyway, not to get off course, but we know how they do. All right, we announced something, that mean that joint is soon to drop. Same thing they did with Doom Eternal. Same thing they did with Doom 2016. And those games were definitely well received by a lot of those PC guys, man. If they wasn't Xbox guys, they're gonna have to get down and lay down, man. I know you can get it on PC, but you can play it for as low as $15 a month on Game Pass. So this is gonna be extremely dope. And there are certain games, and I know we'll mention them later, but there are certain games that I'm looking forward to, like a Back for Blood, which comes out next month. That's reason enough for me to get Game Pass, even if I only play it about 10 hours. Like that's reason enough for me to get it. Microsoft is really having they on a run. I know that this game is on PlayStation, and we got to reiterate that. But Microsoft is definitely on a little run right now. I hope it don't nothing. Look, if they can finish off the year right with Halo, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but if they can finish off the year right, man, the future's bright. The future's already bright, but it's just going to be even better the second, the end of the year, icing on the cake, man, work out with Halo, man. I hope it work out.
So we got to be a little bit spicy on here, Hustle. We got to. This is it's just the Attic Show, man. We got to be a little bit spicy. There's a huge thing going on right now on Twitter, obviously. We got to get a little bit into the console war thing, just a little hair. People want to know, in terms of a fanboy, who deserves the bragging rights when it comes to Deathloop. Is it the highly rated console that it's on, PlayStation, or is it Xbox Studio made the highly rated game that it went on Xbox? Who, in your personal opinion, who would you think would deserve those bragging rights?
I would have to. I'm siding with Team Blue, even though Team Green made it. I'm siding with Team Blue, and here's why: they have access to this game, and nobody else does. I don't know why. Initially, I thought it was on PC. I didn't know it was a
no. It's on PC.
Licensed.
It's just not on Xbox.
But okay, all right. Do I want to recant my statement? Okay, in the fanboy wars, Team Blue got that. That is something that they can kind of hold over y'all. I don't participate in none of that BS, dog. However, if I am a PlayStation fan, I think it's extremely dope that they can kind of go back and forth, because you remember a little bit last year or earlier this year, MLB The Show, a PlayStation made game is on Xbox, and it's like the highest selling MLB game. So like this is just, granted it's all in fun, but I'm rolling with PlayStation, man. I'm rolling with PlayStation. I'm glad I got a PS5 if I ever want to try it out. If I didn't have a PC and I had a PS5, it's the only way I could play it, man. And that to me is hilarious, by the way. I don't know how that happened, but it did, and here we are. But PlayStation, man.
I'd have to agree with you, because at the end of the day, I do feel like, look, I will give some props to Xbox that, this shows, this does look like optically it looks good on Xbox, because it shows the type of quality studio that they can make. But at the end of the day, do you think this game's going to be relevant in a year, Hustle? Let's be 100.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to.
I'll say this, right? I'm a fan of Game Pass. Regardless of how people may feel about it, I'm a fan of Game Pass. Not that I would choose to wait to play games anyway, but here's what I will say. If the story is hitting, because when you were talking about the other, your antagonists, if they're interacting like that and the story is hitting for something good, then yes, it's definitely going to be relevant. I feel like games with good story, as you know, I guess we'll talk about this one later, and I guess we'll talk about this one later, Uncharted and Uncharted
Full
Lost Legacy.
Those ready for it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. So I guess we'll talk about that later. Games with good stories, they never really go out of style. But that's just my opinion on it. I don't think it'll ever go out of style. If this story is that good, I know you said you're 2 hours and I have not played it yet, but if the story is that good, then it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down in history. So it'll definitely be relevant a year from now.
I see. I think the biggest thing that I can give them when it comes down to it is, look, like, I do think that Game Pass will be a relevant conversation, because people aren't going to have to be buying this. It's going to be in the service. But you know what would be crazy, Hustle, is if because obviously they did an Outer Worlds 2 already. And that game's probably not going to be till like 2023, maybe the beginning of 2024. But what happens if they come out at E3 next year? And they announce a trailer for Deathloop 2. Only on Xbox. You get what I'm saying, PC too.
I get what you're saying. My first question is, how are you how big is Arcane Studios? I know I defer that to you, because I got a feeling that y'all wouldn't know. See, that's something that I wouldn't know. If we know anything about the gaming industry, is that Bethesda has multiple studios, and they can. It wouldn't surprise me if this game is doing well, that they're already cracking on some DLC, or they're already cracking on, on part two. So it
So
wouldn't surprise me, man. Like
according
if Bethesda has something else.
according to Google, there's 150 people at Arcane. This was updated in
Okay.
2020, so they could, this was probably but before the acquisition. So maybe Microsoft's let them improve their library a little bit more. So I would say that maybe 10-15% more, 20-30 people more. That's if it could be less. I don't know, but I feel like because Redfall, we're about to talk about that. Obviously, that's ironic. We're talking about Deathloop, and the next topic is Redfall, and they're made by the same studio. But I think it's good, man. I think Deathloop is definitely a viable option to play. I do think it's a reason to play on PlayStation. I don't think so far it's a console seller. I think it's just one of those things where if you have a PlayStation, you should pick this up. But it's not one of those things where you should go pick up a PlayStation to buy.
Okay. All right.
So
I like that.
Have you seen these Redfall screenshots? You're smiling, so I assume you have.
I saw a few. I saw a few on my lunch break today.
Yeah.
Boy, that thing looked like cyberpunk. Boy, that thing was looking crazy. I don't know, man. Listen. I'm not going to be too harsh. Wait. Before we get into it, we have to lead the people and let inform the people of what we're speaking of.
Let me just find the screenshots. Go ahead and set it up real quick. I'll find the screenshots.
Okay, so a little bit over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, somebody on Reddit, I do believe, went ahead and leaked the screenshots for the early alpha of Redfall. Now, if we know it before we get started, if we know anything about NDAs, or if we know anything about being picked for to play one of these games, they will make you sign an NDA. Like, you probably couldn't stream it. You definitely couldn't stream it. You definitely couldn't record your own footage, more than likely. It's not supposed to hit the public under any circumstances. I think this was found in Reset Era. I said Reddit. It may have been found in Reset Era. However, somebody was bold enough to leak a lot of screenshots, to leak a lot of weapons. There's even some story-based stuff in there that I wrote down, but I don't want to reveal it. But I think this may have been in the trailer. But they even say where the game takes place. It's a travesty, and this is from somebody who wants some of those opportunities to be an early beta tester, to do these types of things. The way you see people abuse their privilege and abuse their power, man.
It's sad. If you really think about it, because that's hurting us as content creators, because now they're gonna be more picky on who they give these kind of stuff to. It's just look, I get it. You want that 2 minutes of clout, and I don't even know why you would want that, but it's just just grow up. You know what I'm saying? Now, here is the screenshot. I'm gonna put it in the middle of us a little bit. So
that thing looking crazy, boy.
Yeah. So here's the screenshot. Oof. It's gonna cover us just a little bit. I'm gonna get rid of it momentarily into the topic, but there's this screenshot. Now, what I do want to bring up, because I'm looking at it now, is from what we saw at E3, first off, it was a CGI, and that's one of the issues. I'm completely against CGI cutscenes, because to me, you didn't really set expectations for anything, but this isn't it. You know what I'm saying? And keep in mind, I do want to point out, keep in mind, this is an alpha. This was never supposed to go out to the public, ever. And I think it's gonna look like this when it comes out? No, not even remotely. The people were showing screenshots of Destiny, and literally it looked worse than this. But when the game came out, it looked way better than what was shown on those screenshots. A lot of things can be done in the amount of time from right now to release. Keep in mind, we don't have a release date either. We're just going off the information we have now. These are the screenshots being shown. It does make it look a little spooky. It does. But at the same time, we do got to keep in mind, this isn't the retail game. That's why I'm so against CGI to this degree, because all that CGI cutscene did is just kind of show what the game's going to be about. And to me, it didn't even show what the game's going to be about. But we do got to keep in mind that, we have to I just wanted that information out there. You guys could take it upon yourself. Me personally, I don't know about you, Hustle. We'll get to you in 1 second, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna hold this screenshot in the ultimate thing. This is how the game's gonna look when the game launches. I'm gonna hold this screenshot is look. It's an alpha thing. Someone jumped the gun when they weren't supposed to. I'm not expecting the game to look like this at launch.
Okay, so 9 foot, I believe his name is 9 foot UT in the chat. He actually took my answer. I was gonna bring up the fact that when God of War, when I think Shuhei Yoshida went to go see God of War for the first time, I ain't gonna say it looked like that, but it looked pretty bad in a pretty bad state. So like, just because you might see a game that's playable, it'll just look like complete trash, but it doesn't mean that that's the end. And yes, this is an alpha, and this is the reason why I said alpha as opposed to beta. Beta is something that's really pretty much ready for consumer release at a certain point. Certain changes may be made to a beta, may not be made, what have you. We know where the alpha changes are going to be made. This doesn't really deter me for this game. This, like, seeing that, like, all right, cool, it's an alpha. It shouldn't have been leaked in the first place, and that's one of the reasons why it shouldn't have been leaked. But that doesn't like deter me. Also, Addict, I think this game comes out next year in the middle of May, or not the middle of May. I think this comes out like mid next year. And I thought I saw that on Eurogamer, and that's kind of what I thought I saw that when I was doing research for this project.
Release dates. I don't think it's got a release date yet. It's just 2020.
Well, it said 2022. I thought it said mid, but okay. I mean, if I'm wrong on that, my bad, y'all. My fault. But I definitely saw that. But like, but people are running around and like, because people, they do the console war thing. Hey, look, I'm not worried. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the next time they show said game, it's, what I mean? Look, the next time they show the game, and if it's in that state again, all right, I might get to sweating a little bit, but
And I
I'm
see
not
some
tripping.
people in the chat saying, that this is an official review. It's not. But we are content creators. We're in a podcast formation. This is what's being talked about, so we're going to talk about it. At the end of the day, I'm not going to act like it doesn't exist. And there is this, disclaimer thing that, Microsoft don't have to invest a whole lot of money into projects because of stuff like Game Pass. So this is a narrative that people will go with. So we do got to talk about it.
Did you Addict, to get back to some of that console war stuff on Twitter? I want to say I saw somebody compare that to like God of War or something like that. I saw a crazy comparison when it came to Redfall and something on PlayStation. I was like, come on, y'all. Like, yo, let's just wait. Let's just wait. But and I think it's cool that we are talking about it. For the people in the audience who may not be savvy enough to even know about certain things. They may not know about the God of War thing. Like 9 foot in the chat. It may not be common knowledge to a lot of people. A lot of people may not go back and watch certain documentaries on even how things are made. So this is extremely important that we do talk about it, because the influence that you and I both have, I think it's cool that we push out like the right message.
Yeah,
at least we do our best to push out the right message.
That's
you
why
understand?
we're talking about it, because we're not going to come out here and say other outlets. I'm not designated. I'm just saying, like, the wrong message would be this is what the game's going to look like. They wouldn't give no context behind where this came from. They wouldn't give no context behind if this is an alpha or beta. They say this is what the game looks like. This is not what the game's going to look at launch. But I do feel like, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to discuss whether or not, stuff like this should never have been leaked.
Yeah, for sure. Part of me, just as a creator, part of me hopes. All right, look, homie, you got to get sued behind that. I'm just gonna be real with you.
Yeah.
'Cause you got to, dog. And just as a creator, like if I had something under wraps and then somebody exposed it a little bit and like it was like the rough thing, oh nah, man, my team of lawyers stronger than linebackers, boy. You gonna have to hold that, because that's wild. That's wild that you would do.
When it comes to Nintendo, no one messes with Nintendo.
Oh no!
Look at that face you had when I said Nintendo.
Why do you think I brought this and I didn't emulate it? No.
I'm nervous that you even showed that on the stream. I'm joking.
Yeah, they might try to clap the screen. Hey, my fault.
Yeah, I'm joking with you.
Oh man. But no, that's Nintendo. They are not for play. But yeah, I kind of hope. I hope the people, not the fanboys, but I really hope the people who saw this don't have like a negative effect on the game. I really hope they give it a fair shake, because I got a feeling we're gonna see it again. At some point we'll see it again, but I just hope the game gets a fair shake, and sometimes we got to be patient. We got to give everybody time to get themselves together. I think the joint gonna be all right, man. I'm just gonna be real with you.
I think it
I
is
think the joint
too.
gonna be cool.
I think you're
Yeah.
gonna. I think the graphics are gonna drastically improve between now and release. And the biggest thing that I can really, voice my opinion on is like, this is gonna be. It looks like a looter shooter in a way. Like I don't know exactly how it's gonna be. I'm more upset that it's not Dishonored 3, and I'm gonna keep saying this until it is Dishonored 3. But at the same
Yeah.
time, like I can't keep screaming that Microsoft needs to be more appealing, more diverse, but then when I keep asking them to make the same game over and over again. So, there's room for
Yeah.
there is room for Deathloop 2, Deathloop 2, Redfall, and Dishonored 3, and I feel like behind Microsoft's leadership and the way that they're doing this, I think we can easily get all those games. Because I do feel like when it comes to how Game Pass is structured, I feel like it. I feel like it kind of hurt their marketing, but it helped their marketing at the same time because now when they do marketing for Game Pass, they can let's have a Game Pass commercial, but let's have it heavenly Halo themed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like that,
Yep.
they'll start theming their Game Pass commercials off of the biggest games coming out that year, and I feel like that's a lot easier to do in terms of marketing than it is just to market fresh games every other couple months. But
Yes.
what was you gonna say, Hustle?
Oh, no, I was gonna say if we're gonna wrap up here before we move on. I'm kind of worried about Back for Blood. I know we were talking about the whole Game Pass thing. I'm just a little. I don't think it's gonna be a bad game. I just think it may release at the wrong time because doesn't Forza Horizon 5 like come out like the very next month?
Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, it comes out in November. That's ooh, and I know it had nothing to do with nothing, but I think we were talking like the looter shooters and all that, the whole 4-player co-op thing. That's what made me just think about that. Like and that one looks cool to me too. Back for Blood looks real cool for me, man. Like I remember like when they first showed the trailer and everything, and they got my sister, they got her hair right and everything. Like that to me was dope. That's super dope, man. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm more worried about that game, and I know that had nothing to do with nothing. I apologize for the tangent, ladies and gentlemen, but it made me think about it really made me think about the rollout. And when I spoke earlier about Game Pass and how they really want to make you subscribe, I hope that game has legs as well. So it's just a thing. It's just a thing. I hope all these games really do
I
well,
hope it
man.
does better than Bleeding Edge did. That's for sure.
Boy,
I really liked that game too. It hurt me when that game went down. I felt like if that game. Let's not go brighten that up. Oh my god!
This is cool, bro. Because I tried playing that thing too, and my stomach hurt.
I liked the concept, and I thought it was executed okayly, but there were certain things they needed to do to make it more appealing. First thing, it should have been free to play. I don't know why it wasn't. It's a shame because I do feel like that game had a lot of potential. As far as like the Back for Blood thing, I think they're such different games. I don't think it's going to matter, and I do think that since Back for Blood's on PlayStation, that they're going to get a lot of their sales on that platform anyway. And I feel like because of Left 4 Dead and the fans that franchise had, I think the game's going to be fine too. But I do get it. Like Forza's a big franchise, but at the same time, Forza and Left 4 Dead and Back for Blood are two different genres as well. Do you think that might help regenerate that a little bit?
Oh yeah, and thank you for educating me because I didn't know that game was a multiplayer. Like I said, when they showed it on when they showed it during the Microsoft conference, I want to say it said it was going to be in Game Pass, and that's what made me think. Yeah, and that's why I assumed that. And I apologize for that. That's why I assumed it was an exclusive. So I'm like, oh okay, well then I'm not worried then. All right, well, and it will be something like Left 4 Dead. It will be something like Left 4 Dead, and it'll have its fan base, and that'll grow over time. And now that I know that that's kind of everywhere else, then I'm cool. All right, then I ain't worried then. See, now I'm not worried. I thought it was just the Xbox only thing.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's get to the majority of the show because this is probably going to be a minute. So we finally got to do the PlayStation showcase. We got to participate in it. You did the reactions with us. First off, before we go and break the show down, give your general feeling during the show, Hustle. How did you feel about the show?
All right, so I gave the show a 7 out of 10 at first when I was with you guys.
Has that changed any?
Yes, it has. It actually changed that live stream.
Did it go
It
down?
changed to an 8 out. It changed. No,
Oh,
it went up.
okay.
It went to an 8 out of 10. Listen. The show wasn't a bad show. Now I understand that PlayStation has to appease their third party relationships. I understand that they have to do that, but all they had to do, and I think Jack Move had said this best. They could have put something big in the beginning, right? They could have like spread it out. They could have put like the Uncharted thing on PC, right? I know a lot of people ain't big on that. I'm big on that because I love Uncharted. But they could have it could have sectioned it off to where, all right, they had the indie section, but here's the PlayStation thing. They had the third party stuff, but here's the PlayStation thing. They could have led with the PlayStation thing outside of that commercial that we saw when they was playing chess. They had 21 Savage playing chess. I didn't know what was going on. King was dying hysterically over there, man, but I didn't know what was going on. We all were confused. We didn't know. Me and Cognito, we were confused, but they could have spaced that out. They really could have done that pacing a little better. And it's granted, this was not a bad show, but it was just the top of it. It's like eating it's like your mother making you eat all your vegetables first, and it's like not even like the good vegetables. It's like kidney beans or something. They don't mind like kidney beans and liver. That we didn't want that first, but they really made you wait till the
You're
end
like,
for
no
all
one
of
asked
the.
for that.
Yeah, we didn't want that, man. It was like before you could have your cherry cheesecake and all that. Before you could have that, you got to sit through this. What's that? Project Eve? And I guess we'll get into a game by game. I like that. I like the way I think everybody's kind of positive on that too. It wasn't just like us from the community. Everything that I saw from the community.
It. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I don't think
Really?
it looked bad, but when I saw it, I think it was mainly because I was having computer issues because that's before I hooked up the new computer. But I'm just sitting here looking at this thing and I'm just like, first off, I had like hardcore platinum games like nightmares. It's just like I'm not a big platinum games person, so I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm like, damn, like I don't want to play another platinum games game, but I don't. It looked okay. I saw some people in the industry addressing how the individual looked.
I saw that too.
To me, I get it. She's definitely hypersexualized. I get it, but at the same time, I say this all the time. The people that are doing this the most is the part of the world that don't give two shits what anyone else has to say about it. Like,
that's facts.
That over there in the East, they do it. They don't mind doing it, and it's actually accepted over there for the most part. Like, and it's just like, look, like, people might disagree, but it's just like, at the end of the day, to me, Hustle, we cannot say give the developers freedom to do what they want, but then the moment they do something we don't want it, we try to correct it. Like, no, it's got to be both ways. I actually didn't look at this chick and automatically had those kind of thoughts. Like, that didn't even remotely come into my mind. Like, and to me, if you're thinking that first, I'm thinking like, are you even a gamer? Because you're not even looking at the gameplay like that's being shown. So,
okay.
I do
want to address that. I do want to address that. I didn't really even pay her no mind. It was like, okay, this initially what it reminded me of, it was Bayonetta and Devil May Cry. It was what it initially reminded me of. And I know you said you had an issue with Platinum. I mean, a lot of people got issues with Platinum, but like that's just the mind frame it put me in. I was more impressed by like the monster detail, by the enemy detail. Like, yeah, I looked at oh girl or whatever, but I'm like, yo, it was some type of cross monster. I don't know what in the world that thing was. Then I said, what is that? Like that was one of those moments. And I'm like, yo, that's the third party game. We booting up that 2080 Ti for that one, sir. Hey, look, man, Steam got to have that, man. But that was cool, man. That was extremely dope. That was extremely dope. Attic, we have a super chat from
ACG with the $20 super chat. Both of y'all keep up the good work. Shout out to ACG, man. I've always said it multiple times. That dude is so real. It's not even funny, man. Like,
indeed.
Being in these YouTube streets as long as I have, I've came across my share of people that appear something on Twitter, but in real life they're not that person. ACG is that way 24/7. Like, and I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate the support. But as far as going on top of what we were talking about, the way that people are generalized and stuff, like, I get it. Does that make it right? No. Because, in a way, people do have a lot of, physically, a lot of the stuff that makes no sense on how some of these women are made in these games. But at the same time, like, look, like, I guess don't buy the game. Like, have a good way of combating that. Like, to me, it's like we said earlier, like, you know, if we want to give creative control to some of these developers, it got to be everywhere. And it can't be just one section because it's appealing to what you want to. And I agree with you. A lot of the things that is done in these gaming streets in terms of how women are portrayed and doesn't make sense in that type of gameplay. Like, you know, they'll have like a little bit of cloth like right here, like that one little thing, and it's like that doesn't even make sense. Like, the angles this woman is jumping, that outfit, something a real woman wouldn't wear. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, at the same time, it's just like you gotta let them be creative. And for, you know, what's funny is some of these scenarios, they've dug it and a woman has made some of these outfits and stuff.
Yeah, yep, 1000%. I'm not gonna really push back on that. I mean, honestly, and I know the gentleman that was speaking on, I mean, you know, he has his right to his opinion. I may not even agree, because when we first saw Project Eve, I'm like, oh, she looked cool. Like, that was like my first thought. It wasn't like, oh, she looked thick and all that. It was not. She looked cool, like, to me.
I didn't even have that kind of thought process, and maybe because, like, you know, we don't imagine, because I've never been the kind of person to like sexualize like animated characters, so I think that might have something to do with it. Because when I see like an attractive looking person in a game, the first thing I don't think of is like, my mind don't go to the gutter or anything like that. Like, it's never done that. But I can understand there's a lot of people that do, and I can understand like wanting to fix that area in general.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, Addict. As a kid, my mind went to the gutter, but that's only because I was a kid. Now, I didn't know no better. But it's just one of them things. Like, nah, you saw Laura Croft. Well, I saw Laura Croft, and I remember when that was a whole thing. But like, that was, you know, that was years ago. Like, just as an adult, like, in the words of Neo GameSpark, I go outside and I touch grass. So like, when I first saw her, it was like, oh, okay, cool. And she just looked cool to me. Like, the character design looked cool. But all those character designs look cool to me. Like I said, I brought up one of the enemies toward the end of that trailer, man. And hey, look, I just hope. Listen. I'm getting it on PC. I hope it runs well. And we have a $5 super chat from Mr. Gerard Mack.
Yes. We got $5 super chat from Gerald Mack. You would think PS fans would be more appreciative of Xbox games for saving face of their preferred platform, but no. You know, he got a point there, man. Like PlayStation Xbox be feeding these PlayStation fanboys here recently. They got Psychonauts, now they get Deathloop. You know, Deathloop hurts a little bit more because it's not on Xbox, but I can't make the game be on Xbox. But, you know, what I definitely want to bring up is, you know, want to backpedal, go back to that original topic real quick. I just feel like, personally, when I saw Project Evo, I didn't even look at anything like that. The only thing I was thinking is, not another damn platinum game. Like, that's all I was thinking the entire time. So, you know, let's go ahead and start breaking these games down. You know, so let's go ahead and, so we got God of War here. So the first game was Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
How did you feel about Knights of the Old Republic?
Okay, so you know the nostalgia that everybody has for KOTOR that was in the early Xbox Live days? Mm-hmm. I never had that. I didn't hop online until 2007. It wasn't until I moved out because we couldn't afford internet. And, well, we had internet. I just didn't know it. We could have hopped on DSL. But I wasn't like, I'm not a super big Star Wars dude. I love the way that the characters are designed and stuff like that, but I'm not no Star Wars cat like that. But here's what I know. I know that game, when it dropped, it really made waves. Addict, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but I know you remember G4, but when that game rolled out, they was like, no, this is it. Like, this is the definitive, like, online thing. Because I think that you could have chose the light side and then you could have chose the dark side. And it was just, like, it was an MMO. And you could have played it for so long, and a lot of people were so big on it. And, you know, when I saw it, I think the cog was like, you know, Mr. Matty Plays lose his mind when he saw it. And I think he did, because I think he did a video on it. I was like, cool, that's cool. But, you know, it surprised me that PlayStation got that. Because like I do remember that being on the OG Xbox. And I don't think it was anywhere else. I might be wrong on that. But I remember that being an Xbox thing. I remember that being like the online thing. And that's where you had to be to go play it. So, I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm always cool for like the remakes, you know, just to get like a new audience in. Because It's been however long it's been. It's been over a decade, 15 years, right? So it's always cool to see like the old fans like connect with like new fans and like, hey, this is how we used to do it back in the day. Like that's always like a cool thing to see. That's a part of game preservation. And with me, you'll know that I'm super big on that anyway. But it's cool to see. Do we know when this game is going to Xbox or Game Pass at all?
There's like conflicting stuff that it might never come to Game Pass. So,
Mm.
oh, I mean Xbox in general. I don't know. Like, I don't think we've had anything like definitive about it yet. But
Mm-hmm.
I am interested if it does go because to me, let me drag this chat over here so I can see what's going on. But to me, like what comes down to is it's not even like what it's coming to or what it's not coming to is what are they making? Like who's making it? That's the biggest thing to me because to me, I care more about the studio making than I care about the actual studio. If that makes sense to you, I mean, than the actual game. Because, look, I'm not saying Aspar or I definitely butchered their name.
Aspire.
Aspire. Like, I'm not saying they're a bad studio. I'm not by any means. But I am saying that like when it comes to certain things, I am curious if they are up to the task to make something as iconic as Star Wars KOTOR. That's a big franchise. We can't act like it's not. And to me, like, it's equivalent. Let's say, this game is that important to me, okay? It's that important to me. Imagine if before God of War 2018 was launched, imagine if they decided that they were going to let a random company you've never heard of made it. You know what I'm saying? How would you feel about that? Like, to me, I love this franchise, and I'm scared that this company isn't going to give it the justice that I want. And
Okay.
until I see physical proof, until I see a certain scenario in certain gameplay aspects, I can't 100% be for this remake. I can't be hyped for it because I don't know how this game's going to come out.
Okay, Addict. I believe I looked up the correct spelling of this name's Aspire. So here are the games that they did make. Star Wars Republic Commando for PlayStation and Switch. A game called RWBY. I don't know if that's Ruby or RWBY Grim Eclipse, and that's on the Switch. They made Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. I have heard of that one. On PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, they made Whoa, wait a minute. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast on PlayStation and Switch, and a game you may be familiar with, Stubbs the Zombie.
No.
Have you ever heard of?
That
Okay.
is a no.
I figured you were familiar. Or I assumed you were familiar.
See, the more you talk
Xbox.
about it, the more I'm getting nervous. Like,
Okay, and they also made Civilization 6 on mobile, on iOS to be exact. I think this is the iOS symbol.
That's not helping.
Well. I want to do my best to give it a fish.
Send me that link and put it in the chat so the chat can see it. Put it in the chat.
Sure thing. Hold on. Here y'all go. Yeah, I was just interested to take a look.
What's going on?
See what they made. So they got a few, but they do have a few Star Wars titles here. So I mean, that's promising. I'll go back and take a look to see how those games performed, and we can I'll do that off camera and everything. But
So
it's promising to
I
have a little history.
Now. And it's like I said, in no way, shape, or form is this attacking the studio because it's not.
But definitely not doing that.
It's just like I'm just nervous that something that I grew up with isn't going to live up to the height that in my head I deserve it meets. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, I
see.
It's like I said, imagine if Saint Monica didn't make God of War 2018 and these people did. Would you be nervous?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But it's a legit question.
I understand. No, I understand. I think you just probably wanted one of the big boys to.
Yeah, I wanted
I get you.
If they said BioWare made it, I'd be like, let's go. But they didn't. Like, and if you look at this, man, like Star Wars Commando, like let's click on this real quick. Let's make sure it's muted. Like, that's no. I mean, I guess but it said a remake. Like, to me, I'm feeling like KOTOR is just gonna be on another level. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they made a Switch version. Okay, we got a Star Wars Switch game, Knights, the Jedi Academy. Maybe like I can't say nothing about the studio because at the end of the day, it's nice they're getting the opportunity. And
Indeed.
you know, sometimes like we say in ILP, sometimes you just got to give these little people a chance. You know what I'm saying? And once you give these little people a chance, you'd be surprised in what kind of product they make. But I feel like, to me personally, because I enjoy this franchise and I love this franchise so much, that I do have the right to just be like, please don't mess this up. Because I would be so nervous. But
Attic,
what?
before we move on, I want to acknowledge Duncan's self in the chat. He said those are remasters. This is a remake. Also, BioWare aren't good now. I'm going to censor myself. He's not wrong. BioWare made Anthem, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy! And shout out to my girl Flo Hugger over there, Level One. I think she's the only person who we know. I think she's the only one who likes that game. So shout out to my wife Flo Hugger. That's my baby. But yeah, BioWare, they aren't really themselves. So they aren't their full themselves. And I say that, and I do say that with all due respect, by the way. So I mean, I guess we can just wait and see. What's the next game on the list, kind sir?
Project Eve.
Okay. We can kind of.
How did you feel about Project Eve? We briefly talked about it a little bit. I thought it looked okay, but it looked too much like Platinum Games, and I was wanting to throw up the whole time I was watching this. Like, I'm just not a Platinum Games fan, and it looks so platinum-y to me. Like, what did you feel?
Well, as a person who doesn't typically play Platinum Games, I liked what they showed here. Like to the protagonist, I don't know if her name is Eve. We'll assume her name is Eve. She looked cool to me. Like, she legit, not sexy, but like cool. She looked like a actual cool character. She looked like a badass, and I welcome that. I welcome like some of the gameplay they showed. It's cool. It like I said, it reminded me of Devil May Cry, and I hope that it's done some type of justice. We spoke on it earlier. Certain people have their own opinions on the matter. I didn't look at this young lady as just being sexy or anything. I just looked at her as just being like cool. Like, she looked like she can drag me out of a fight.
I was so, what is people talking about? Because I didn't even remotely sexualize this woman whatsoever. So I guess that's why that caught me off guard when it was being talked about. Someone did bring up Vanquish. I guess maybe it gave them a Vanquish feeling. I never played Vanquish, okay, but it gave me a Platinum feeling, and I automatically was waiting for this commercial, this trailer to be over the moment I saw it. And that's not a bad thing. Platinum actually is a really good game. It's just I'm tired of their games. That's just me personally. You think that this was a highlight of PlayStation show? Because I feel like going into a KOTOR was a highlight. I do feel like that was a good way of starting it. Most people don't know that that studio is making, and then I want to make sure. We're not saying nothing bad about the studio. We're just saying that a studio, a game such as that caliber, I'm nervous that a studio that haven't really made games like that or a AAA style like that is making it. That's the only issue I had with that. But as far as Project Eve, do you think this was like your eyes were on the screen the whole time? How did you feel when you saw this?
It was cool. 1 point for me. 1 point for PlayStation as far as that goes. I know it's a third party game and everything. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not even an Xbox dude, but that would have been dope if Xbox were to have owned something like that, in my opinion. Just based off of what we saw. But it was cool. Like I enjoyed that trailer a lot. I look forward to trying that out at some given point in time. PC, of course, but no, that looked cool to me, and I hope the gameplay hit is good as that trailer was. I hope the gameplay hit.
All right, so number 3. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. How did you feel about this game? Did it do anything for you? I actually like this Tiny Tina gameplay more than I like that Project Eve. I was a little bit more hyped for it, because I like Borderlands. It's an okay franchise, I really enjoyed what I saw. How did you feel when you saw Tiny Tina?
Yeah, that's a big skip for me, dog. Oh. I ain't really. That's Borderlands. That's Randy Pitchford. That's that crew over there at Gearbox, right? Mm-hmm. I'm cool on that. But I ain't never really been a fan of Borderlands like that anyway. I think it's dope that one of the what's the word? It's dope that one of the most beloved characters got a spinoff. So I got the Uncharted, like Lost Legacy vibes, not in terms of gameplay, but just like a beloved character. Like this is like the Chloe, probably to like that universe, possibly. If I'm making that comparison, if I'm wrong, y'all let me know, of course. But it's cool that they got that own little spin off. What they showed was cool, but I'm not interested, man. That's a big skip for me. You gotta tell me how that plays, because I know, because I heard you doing the reaction. I'm like, oh yeah, you seem like big on that, so I'm interested to hear from you, because I'm good on that one, man.
I
I'm
really
good.
enjoyed what I played on Borderlands 3. Was it the greatest game in the world? No, but I do think it was it was entertaining. So we do got a $5 super chat request. I'll let you read that because it's addressing you.
Yeah, from the homie Gerald Mack, man. Let's highlight this so I can see. The Hustle and Motivate acquisition to the Lord Addict show is just as big as Lord Cognito to the Dukes. Great pick. Salute. You are far too kind. Don't oversell me like that.
Look, man,
I appreciate
overselling anyone.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting to hear that today.
We'll go ahead. We'll get to probably one of the highlights of the show to me. It's Forspoken.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
What was your thought process when you saw this, man? What was going through Hustle's mind?
So this is done by Square Enix. Forspoken has not looked bad since the moment that we saw it. It has never looked bad. In fact, it's getting better over time. Like, the gentleman who made the comments about Project Eve can kind of compare that to this game that we're speaking about now. I understand his complaint, and I understand like we're in a different time, and more characters should be like the young lady that we saw. But it just is what it is, and I don't want to harp back on that, but I did want to bring that up as a point. This is another character who looks cool to me. I'm not even a Square Enix dude like that. Like I don't really, it was Super Mario RPG, Final Fantasy 3, and that's about it, man. But this is in Luminous. I think the studio's name is Luminous Productions.
Yes,
so I want to make sure I get that right. Yeah, it looks good. This looks really good. The gameplay looked fun. I'm not gonna lie, that gameplay looked fun. I think one of the things I think I said this to King. I said, "Yo, I want to see a bunch of enemies on the screen," and we kind of got that a little bit. And I said, "Let's see if that frame rate dip," because I mean, I love them frames, boy. But because I'll be playing this on PlayStation first, so I just want to make sure that the performance is there. The game looks really fun, but this game has always looked fun from the moment that we saw it. And I think they may have something with Forspoken. I say Square, but I think both of the publisher and the developer, they may have something in a new like IP, and they may have something special here. Only time will tell, though. Only time will tell.
So we got another $5 super chat from the Iron Lords podcast. What's funny is I didn't super chat myself. Okay, that's Cog.
Okay.
So you can read the super chat because he's addressing you too.
Okay. Alrighty. Good to see Hustle on Addict Show. All right. My first round. Oh my gosh, sir, don't do that. Okay, my first round draft pick. Make sure. Wait. Make sure you let.
Make sure he let you get your bars off.
Make sure he lets you get your bars off. Just joking, Addict. Let us show. Look, thank you. Well, Cognito.
You know how easy it would have been for me just to
get up me there.
You know how easy it would have been for me to super chat and just put Cog at the end of it and act like people love me. Hey, with you, Cog.
Cognito.
If you're still watching, Cognito, how do you like the new background, man? Because I had to put it to what it was just so you could see it real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead and address Cognito.
Man called me the first round draft pick. Hey, look, man. Big words. Now I gotta live up to it now. That's all. But I y'all know what it is. We spoke behind the scenes, and I tell you publicly, the opportunities, dog. Opportunities in abundance. You'll see me tweet it out. I'm happy to be here. Let's make history, y'all. That's it. And everybody in the chat, yo, real quick, since we all talking about that, thank y'all for the kind words, man. Like seriously, because I know how that tweet was gonna go, Addict. I know how it was gonna go. Well, I saw it.
See, the good thing about IOP, man, is
oh boy,
I love our community, but at the end of the day, this is the Addict show. I don't care where that tweet was going. You was still coming. Like
I appreciate it. No. That's the super dope. What do you think about Forspoken, sir? What do you think?
You ain't gonna like what I have to say about Forspoken.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying this game's not gonna be bad. I'm not saying this game doesn't have potential from what I'm seeing. All I'm seeing is it feels like Final Fantasy 16 or 15 Part 2 that they just renamed it Forspoken and just gave it a new name, because it's just like, it gives me such Final Fantasy vibes, but it doesn't have a Final Fantasy on there. Like, I feel like the female, that's like the female version of Noctis. Like, I don't know. Like, I'll have to see it. And I'm not saying this game ain't gonna be good, because like, I do feel like the studio's got potential and they could do what they do with. But at the end of the day, it's just like, I gotta see more. Like, we don't see a whole lot of people fighting on the screen at the same time either. So like, it makes me real, like, you know.
Well, that was a quick. My fault. Oh, I'm interrupting you. I apologize. Go ahead.
So it does make me like nervous on what type of gameplay we're gonna get with this. I did like some of the special effects we got. I thought those were pretty good. And I'm not saying like, 15 was okay. I do feel like in terms of Final Fantasy, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. I felt like it was a step in the right direction, but it wasn't getting Final Fantasy back to its former glory. You know what I'm saying? But maybe Forspoken is going to give them different aspects to get them in the right direction. Like we said, getting unique perspectives. We got a black protagonist, so having that type of perspective might bring some more into it. Just in general, I just want a more unique Final Fantasy, because to me, something's got to change. Final Fantasy, I feel like personally, has been going downhill every installment since 10. And I'm hoping that maybe this is what we need. And I'm digging the main character. I am. I feel like that aspect of coming from the past, coming to this fantasy world is cool. It's just, can they actually execute that? That's a huge question. We don't know if they can do that.
Hey, Attic, real quick before we move on, it looks like they put all the budget into the main character, who's she's beautiful. I don't know I want to know who her model is, but I was watching the video as the trailer as we're talking. Oh boy, yeah, they put all the budget into the main character. I'll leave it at that. That's what it seemed like to me, because I see other NPCs. Oh boy, it's looking spooky. Like October 31st out this joint. That thing it look crazy. Some of them look crazy, and I won't say where, but you'll see it. You'll be like, okay, yeah, there's a definite like budget restriction is a term. I'm not even gonna say the minute mark, because I don't want to be disrespectful, but there's definitely a thing. Hey, real quick, shout out to Gaming14 in the chat, man. Thank you. I appreciate your kind words, sir. You always been there. Thank y'all again. Y'all making this real easy for you, boy. Man, y'all making me feel like I'm at home, boy. Thank y'all, man. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Community is, man.
Man.
I can honestly say that I love the IOP community. The amount of people that we've gotten together is just crazy. How giving the community's always been throughout the years. Everything you see here, the new camera. I got a new PC. I don't know, a lot of you don't know that, but I got a new PC to help do these streams more efficiently, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but when we did the whatever Jeff Keighley thing's called, the online
games,
whatever that's called, that was my stream that crashed. That wasn't Cogs, that was mine. So we was done with that. We got a new PC for me, and all that is because of the generosity and the viewership and the likes that you guys get. You guys get our you guys coming in and you hit that like button. Considering we do have 150 people hit that like button, I might as well get that in there since talking about the likes. So you guys get our podcasts and better algorithms. You come up for the addict shows, the IOPs, come up to the KOSs, you super chat, you go into the Patreon, you go on the members. We've been trying to do better with the people that financially give us stuff. We appreciate everyone, and we have been trying to do better with the people that super chat and stuff, because no Lord receives a dime out of the money that comes into IOP, goes back into the bank account. And when we get stuff like new cameras, because all the Lords have this camera, will have, hopefully theirs will be up in the next couple weeks. Every camera is going to look like this. I'm not the only one that's supposed to look. I know you guys might think that I have the only nice camera because of this beard. That's not the case. Like, everyone's got the camera, and everyone will get that camera hooked up in the next couple weeks. Just people busy, man. Carl doing like 15 shows a week. He's a busy dude. He's he
Ark
does
is
a
out here
lot with
working, boy.
he does a lot with the website. You know, King is doing King stuff constantly. You know, he stayed on Twitter 24/7. Itself works like 18 jobs, and you know, it's hard to because I was the guinea pig with the cameras. I know how to set the cameras up, so. But it's hard to find a good time for me and the other Lord to sit down and really build the camera because this is not easy. This is like 18 different parts to set this camera up.
Boy, don't I know it? Don't I know it? And I was one of the first ones to have it. But
you definitely was.
Yeah. Oh, I went there. But let's get back to the show, Addict. Let's get back to this PlayStation goodness here that a lot of PlayStation fans, the ones who I rock with, they wasn't too big on it, man. The next game on this list, which was a big skip for me, Rainbow Six Extraction. Why?
Pass.
Why?
I'm not saying that this isn't a good thing. I'm just saying, why was it here?
It's yo. When we saw it, I think we all had that look. Listen, I get it. You gotta appease to your third parties, but. Man, look, I saw that during the Ubisoft show, and I'm glad we didn't televise that one, boy. That was ugly. But I was like, yo, I didn't care then. I don't care now. And man, look, I'm good. I'm good on that, man. And I'm gonna be extremely respectful when saying that they doing their thing.
I ain't. This game shouldn't even exist. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know why. I'm not saying they have killed it with Rainbow Six Siege. But I didn't talk. I played so much Rainbow Six Siege. You know what never has happened, Hustle? I've never talked to someone, and they're like, "Yo, I want a game where we play against aliens and stuff." Not one time. Not one time. I get it. There's probably a demographic for this, and there's probably people that's gonna play this. You know who's gonna play this, Hustle? People that are bored. This should have been an update into Rainbow Six Siege that gives you an extra mode. But instead, they want to bundle this up and put a big Red Bull on it, and put it on there and say, "Well, you gonna pay us 60 bones for it." I think it's $60. I don't know if it is. They don't have any prices here, so don't quote me on that. But
all right,
I just feel like it shouldn't have been there.
Before we move on, it releases in January of 2022. So if you guys are looking forward to that, y'all, you tweet me and you let me know how it is, because boy, I'm good. I'm good. The next game on the list is the Alan Wake remaster. I skipped Alan Wake on the 360 because they had a lot of screen tearing in it, and I kind of wasn't interested in the Pro Tag. It really wasn't my cup of tea. But this remake looked really good when we saw it. I know a lot of people are like, "Nah, it don't look good." I think it's cool. Like it's cool for what it is. Hopefully they fix a lot of whatever errors were in the last game. I hope they fix it in this one and is updated and everything just works out to work in that favor. I'm always cool. I'm cool with a remake as long as they fix and adjust. And honestly, I kind of, even though I'm not interested, I hope enough people buy this game so Remedy can make a sequel.
Let me be real with you. I ain't played Alan Wake. I got no plans on playing Alan Wake. Every time I look at Alan Wake, I wanna get a good big giant beanie and go to sleep. I'm not saying the game isn't bad. I know it's a classic, but it's not a classic to me. So sorry, not sorry. I'm not playing it. I don't care about it. When this came up, I acknowledged that what looked the worst is this was an Xbox-related game. It was heavily connected to Xbox, and it's on a PlayStation showcase. So I think that was the worst part about it. But as far as being a game, I'm going to be real with you. Remedy is up there with Platinum Games with me. I'm not really feeling Remedy games. I felt like Control was a huge average ass game, and people blew that game out of proportion to me. I'm not saying it was a bad game. I'm just saying the only thing I ever heard people talk about is levitating and throwing stuff at people. I never really see people talk about the story. I never really see people talk about anything related to Control besides shooting people and throwing stuff at people. So to me, I can never feel like that type of game is like that extra, if that's the only things that people could really say. But you know, clearly you yourself, you're interested in Alan Wake, it looks like. So you know, is this something because you've seen on it? Would you try it on your PC or PS5 or Xbox Series X?
Yeah, and maybe it's not like a day one thing, but maybe it's if I'm in between games You know, I'm streaming Uncharted and No Mercy and stuff like that. So if I'm in between games, I'll try it just to see if I like it. And you know, the great thing about Steam is if I don't like it within 2 hours, then you know that thing I'm gonna take that road trip. No Jack Move Johnny, you understand me? That thing going, But no, that's only if I don't find it intriguing or anything. But like, I'm cool for remakes. Like I said, I hope it remedies, pardon the pun, all the issues with the last one, and I'm sure that it will. And if it sells well, you know, it can be like the Crash Bandicoot 4 of whatever this is, whatever the Alan Wake series is. So yeah, I mean, I'll try it. I'll definitely try it.
I'm gonna be real with you, fam. Alan Wake got. I don't even think I'd play if it was given to me. I don't think I'd play if it was in Game Pass. I think if I saw it in Game Pass, I would be annoyed they wasted an announcement putting that in Game Pass. Look, it's just not for me, man. I get it. A lot of people love that game, and I'm glad that a lot of people get this. And I'm sure if Alan Wake 2 came out, it's going to be in PlayStation 5 exclusive. That's going to be funny to see on Twitter. But, you know, I hope it does, because at the end of the day, I want all games to succeed. It's just the game doesn't appeal to me. So, our next one is GTA 5 Expanded and Enhanced Edition / GTA Online. How do you feel about knowing that we've seen GTA 5 for damn near a decade?
Well, I know it's my first day and everything. I have to apologize to the audience because this is my fault. I bought this game on PS3. I brought this game on PS4.
You bought it on
and
PC,
yes,
didn't you?
I brought this game. Yes, I brought this game on PC. I'm looking for the game. I don't think I have it. I don't think I have it anymore on PS. No, I don't think I got it no more. Nope, I don't have it anymore. But I bought this game 3 times. I have this game for free on the Epic Game Store as well. And I will be getting this game on PS. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now we speak about the enhanced edition. I didn't see any enhancements. That joint still looked like it was running at 30, but maybe the trailer, maybe the stream itself was running at 30. Whatever. I'll forgive it now. I don't know who came up with this phrase, but I'm gonna take it today. Is that we can't keep letting them get away with this. Now I know I can't do the voice and I can't do all that, but Rockstar got to stop. Attic, did you see the trailer on the PlayStation? Did you see the Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer on the PlayStation channel? That dislike ratio crazy, boy.
That's
that
good.
thing.
Like, and what's funny is people are going. These
playing.
companies are going to see that before they see anything else. So
As
we got a
they
$2 super chat from Gamer by Choice. Game of the Year GTA 5. Look, man, I might have to block you for that one. No, I'm joking. Look, there's a lot of people that's going to like this. I probably will pick it up.
Well,
I haven't played the story since the 360. And
right. Yeah,
I didn't buy it for PC, so I'm one below you right now. I bought it for Xbox One, and I bought it for the 360. I did not buy it for PC. So if I buy it for the for the Series X, I feel like it's going to balance the force a little bit. So it is what it is. I don't think GTA 5 being announced is bad. I do think that a company taking time to announce this is an L. But I don't think it being announced is bad. I think that should have been like a YouTube video or something like that.
Yeah. I'll say this before we finish here. GTA 5 ain't trash. If y'all played the story, because I had it on PS3. I played and beat that story in like 4 days. Like that game is fire. I love that game. I love the single player. Online not so much. But look, we're in a situation now to where like this is like Elder Scrolls. I want to take y'all back to the PS2 era. We got 5 GTA games that era. GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Vice City Stories, Liberty City Stories. We also got Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories for the PSP. Now, granted, I know that those were ports over, but it don't matter, dog. Like, it don't matter. Like, the output of work that they felt like that Rockstar had to do, and I know that it's quicker to make those games than it is to make this one. I know. I know. Please don't hit me with that. I know about the game development. I know, but it's the thought. Last generation, we only got 2 GTA games, GTA 4 and the behemoth known as GTA 5. I got a theory about GTA 5 before I finish. I think they're going to hit 200 million, and that's when they're going to ease their foot up off the gas, and the online is going to carry over to GTA 6. in my humble opinion. I think that's what they're going for because they're already in the Guinness Book of World Records from what I understand. So it's a thing. It's definitely a thing, man. Rockstar get that money. Like, y'all unstoppable. They the juggernaut of the whole joint, dog. Like, Grand Theft Auto 5 at this point should come with all the consoles. It's like, nah, here you go. Nah, they gonna have the UPS man just knock on the door. Here you go. Rockstar just said, nah, just take it. Play the online. Man, I'd say, and you know what? Really quick before I finish up, to their credit, they're online. They've been really updating the online and really like servicing like their community. So that's dope to me.
Like, I can't even really say it's dope for them because like that's beneficially better for them to do that because at the end of the day, like, it's not like they were making like this out of the kindness of their heart. They're making content to make you to grind or buy shark cards to get that content. So like to me, it makes it even bad because they focused on that and they didn't even focus on story at all. So like, look, man, like they being a little bit greedy, man. Like you making all that money and you felt like you couldn't do any story DLC at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the misstep, and that's a misstep by the way, because I wanted that DLC. I wanted to see how Franklin, Trevor, and Mike get after the events of. Is it a spoiler alert? This game came out almost 10 years ago.
Nah, this ain't IOP. I don't want. I look if it's.
No, never mind.
Nah. You could spoil, man. Spoiler on GTA 5.
All right. So you had 3 different endings. You could have killed Micah. You could have killed Trevor as Franklin, of course, or you could have picked the third way, which was the Death Wish, and that's the actual ending. You do whatever heist that you do. You have to pretty much fight your way out of everybody who had beef with everybody else, which I'm not gonna get into. Cool game, dope ending. It even carries on after the fact, depending on which ending that you pick. However, yeah, DLC was needed, much needed.
Yeah,
it was much needed. The story DLC was definitely needed, and it's added. This is my fault. I kept buying the game, dog. I kept buying it.
I did.
I don't know what.
It's like I said, I bought it twice. So what we're gonna do, because we don't really got time to go through all these. We're gonna go through the highlights. All right. Ghostwire Tokyo. Do you think this should have been here? I feel like they didn't really reveal anything new. I get it; it's their game, but it's like it's been delayed. They're having Deathloop come out, so why did you even waste time on this game?
Yeah, it didn't need to be there. That was something that we've kind of already seen before. I don't think that there was anything new in that trailer from even that Xbox show. So it wasn't nothing new. But again, the reason why I was there because wasn't it rumored that this event was supposed to take place around E3 for PlayStation's E3 replacement or E3 like slotted programming. But if that is the case, then I get why it's there. But it shouldn't have been. I'll just be real with you. I wouldn't. I'm cool.
It was definitely no. I felt like Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't even like what I see on this game, so I'm gonna say this needed to stay wherever it was before it came on here. I every time I see this, I get less and less like intrigued on the franchise. How did you feel?
That's a big skip. That's a big skip. I'm cool on that. It's just not to me. Look, I ain't gonna front. When I first saw that Marvel splash screen, I said, "Oh, Spider-Man," and then I was like, "Nah, homie, nope." So now I'm good. I'm straight. I'm good on it.
All right.
Respectfully.
Vampires the Masquerade, probably butchered that. Blood Hunt. L. Shouldn't have been here.
Damn.
L. Oof. Nothing about this. I can almost guarantee you 80% of the people watching this did not come out at the end of this trailer and say, let me go download Blood Hunt. Did you come out with that thought process?
I'm going to keep it real with you. I didn't even remember this joint being there. Respect, and I say that with all due respect.
Point taken. Like,
I didn't. I remember it. Like it was. Yo, never mind. I'm good. I'll pass on this one.
Deathloop.
I'll pass on this one. All right. Well, Deathloop is. We didn't need to see that. We listen. The promotion for Deathloop has been insane. And look, shout out to their team for doing that. But we've seen Deathloop for a long time.
And
I'm surprised you're not burnt out on it, man. And you playing it now, so I'm surprised you're not burnt out on it. But it's whatever.
I'm
it was
burnt out
there
on seeing stuff, but like I don't want to see no more of it. Are you looking at the Deathloop screen? What we were seeing?
I didn't click on the video.
No, not the screen. Just like what's showing on top of it. Deathloop down the rabbit hole. Anyway, we'll talk.
Yeah. Ooh, no, I didn't look at it.
Oh, it's fine. So
Okay.
we're gonna skip some of these like indie games because I know a lot of people don't necessarily care about that, especially my viewership. We're gonna talk about the one, the only, Uncharted Legacy and Thieves Collection coming to PC. How you guys feel about that?
Won't be needing these. So I beat one of these already. I beat Lost Legacy. Uncharted 4. I'm not gonna start until they put it on PC, and it's scheduled to be on PC and PlayStation 5. I think PlayStation 5 first, and that's early 2022. So I'm looking forward to that. There was an interesting find on Digital Foundry. Alex Battaglia, I hope I got his name right. He pretty much was like, yo, they was like, hey, Alex, did you notice any differences? They was like, outside of frame rate. He pretty much said outside of frame rate, it looked like it was at 1440p. Now, I don't care about none of that. I just want the joint to run at a high frame rate because that's how I'm playing all the Uncharted games for the very first time. But that's dope. I beat Lost Legacy. Anytime I see my girl Chloe, man, you know, hey, that's my baby. That's my baby right there. So anytime we get to run back through it, we gonna do that. I'm happy. I know a lot of people aren't happy, and I saw some reactions from people. They not happy about the whole PlayStation and PC thing, but all right, look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You gotta accept the inevitable at this point. You got to. It's over. All this stuff. Whole slate gang. We saw like a news wire, a rumored like news wire about Uncharted 4 just coming to PC, and I said, well, why is it just that one? And I thought we was gonna get the whole thing because rumors were leading up to it about the whole Uncharted thing. Somebody did an awful thumbnail, shout out to them, about the Uncharted collection, and it did the whole thing, right? I'm happy. You asked me last week what would save the show for me. This is what saved the show for me. I'm not gonna lie.
So how
we gonna
did
talk
you
about some other stuff.
how did you feel about that PC?
Oh, you already know what type of time I'm on, sir. Listen, I love it. I love all of it. I'm gonna buy the joint. I'm gonna grab the thought of the joint. I'm gonna buy it on PS5, and I'm gonna buy it again on PC. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but whatever. I want that. I really, Chloe, Nadine, and Sam, they need to be in Uncharted 5, and I'm gonna show all my support. Like, nah, you make them the main characters. You leave Drake's daughter out of it. You put them in the next one. You put her in the next one, right? But you leave her out of it. But you make sure that the three people who I just mentioned, Chloe being my baby, you got to put them up on the forefront, because like that adventure was too short. Sam comes about halfway in the middle of it. I'm not gonna get into it. It's a really good game though. Good games will always be good games, and they'll always get my support. How'd you feel about it, Daddy? You gotta let me know, man.
So we got a $5 super chat from Gamer by Choice. I like that name, Gamer by Choice. I refreshed the screen and just saw an ad for Guardians of the Galaxy. They're trying to get that money. Look, man, they're gonna need more than just a couple ads. Because when I see that game, I'm not like excited whatsoever. I mean, maybe though that would change. Yeah, they better launch that like when there ain't nothing out to play, like at all. So all right. This is what we're gonna do, Hustle. We're gonna talk about Wolverine.
Okay.
And Spider-Man at the same time, because
cool.
I do feel like they're made by Insomniac. First off, I want to ask you, and people in the chat, feel free to put your opinions in the chat. Do you think Insomniac is their best studio?
No.
Ooh.
Not yet. Most consistent. I make this comparison. I did a video about the last 7 years with Insomniac and the output of work that they're doing. They're doing amazing work. They are. Yes, indeed they are. But they've always done amazing work. Don't get me wrong. Naughty Dog, man. As long as we got one of these, The Last of Us Part 1, as you know, is my second favorite game of all time. First favorite game of all time, you know what? It's Uncharted 2. It's Uncharted 2 for me. But not yet. But I'm not going to lie. When we saw that trailer, when we saw that trailer for Spider-Man, we know it's going to look like that based off of what Miles Morales did. When we saw that trailer for look, it's a few companies who can get away with showing trailers. They can show another trailer, and I'm still good because we know the gameplay going to hit for something different. We know that the visuals are going to be what the visuals are. But are they the best studio? Nah, man. Naughty Dog, man. Naughty Dog. There's a reason. There is a reason why Naughty Dog is so high on that list for me. The Uncharted series, I have not played Last of Us 2 yet, but from what I understand, outside of the gruesomeness, gameplay is on point, man. So we gotta, it's gonna take a lot for me to the throne, Naughty Dog is at number one because of the feelings that I have toward Last of Us 1 and Uncharted and the Uncharted series as a whole right now. I'm having fun. I'm having a great time playing 1, 2, and 3. And we Lost Legacy I beat already. So like I'm having a great time. So right now, Naughty Dog is here, but I'm not gonna lie, if they not careful, and I'm sure they will be. Insomniac is like right here. Sony Santa Monica is kind of right. It's a good competition over there. Let me just say that. There's a really good competition going on in that PlayStation camp, man.
People ain't gonna like what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Insomniac's the third best studio.
Oh, okay.
I feel like, look, Insomniac is their most efficient studio. They make the best quality for the amount of time they put in. But until they make a game that's on caliber of Last of Us or God of War, they can't beat those games. To me, the best studio makes the best games. They don't make the most consistent good games. They make the best games. And look, at the end of the day, Spider-Man was a great game. It was not on Last of Us or God of War caliber. It wasn't. And that's just how it is. To me, when it comes to their best studio, in my personal opinion, it's St. Monica. And then it's Naughty Dog. Yeah. And then it's Insomniac. And that's not saying Insomniac, I got to see one game that's on that level. It don't even have to be better. Just one game that's on that level. And to me, you can't say just because they can make more games. Mm-hmm. If they don't make one game that's on that level, why does it matter if they can make multiple games in a matter of a couple years? If they don't make one game that's on a Last of Us level. To me, God of War and Last of Us are on the same level. I don't know about you, Hustle, but I feel like those type of quality games, sure, they're different, appeals to different crowds, but you can consider those on the same type of level in terms of quality.
I will. Okay, so I'm about 3.5 hours in God of War 2018. I'll say this about Naughty Dog, and I want to mention something about Insomniac. What Naughty Dog has managed to do for me personally is just, it wasn't the gameplay, it was really the story. Now, this new Spider-Man 2, apparently is rumored to have more like mature themes. And I kind of know what that means. Like I can kind of read between the lines on that one. And I won't even say, but yeah, apparently it's supposed to have like a stronger, like mature theme. Now I'm not saying it's rated mature. I'm saying that it'll have like a stronger theme. Apparently things are supposed to be a little bit more brutal and a little bit more grotesque. Allegedly, this is what things that are floating around the ether. So I look forward to that. Now I'll say this: if Insomniac can pull off a great story, then I'm not gonna lie, the two studios you mentioned might be in a little trouble.
Yeah, see,
good trouble though. Good trouble.
Wolverine comes out and Spider-Man 2 comes out. Like, look, we don't really give a lot of power to Metacritic, but the industry does. So we can't act like the industry doesn't. They haven't made a game that's on that caliber. They haven't made a 90 rated above game, like ever. I think since the original like Ratchet and Clank or something like that, like one of those, and that was like in 2004 or 2005. Like, and I'm not trying to give all this power to Metacritic, but it's just like what Metacritic is at its core is just pretty much an average score of all of the reviews in the industry. And you got to give some form of validation to that, but there's a lot of gaps and a lot of loopholes in terms of Metacritic. Like how they rate 3 out of 5s as a 6 out of 10. Like, none of that makes any sense, but at the end of the day, they got to have that type of game. They got to have a 90 plus Metacritic. Like, they just got to. Like, for me to even consider them their best studio. Like, sure, I will give them, they're their most efficient studio, and they are literally got the biggest backpack, and all of PlayStation is on that shit right now. But as far as their best studio, I can't give that to them.
It's, I'll say this before we get on to, I think Wolverine is going to hit a little different. I think if it's based off of the movie, it's definitely going to hit a little different. It's going to have a story. It is going to be a little bit more mature too. I'm excited, and it's rumored. This is speculation. Well, I'll say it's rumor. It's speculation on my part that they are connecting these universes. I keep hearing that going around, and if they do that, then I think we know what Insomniac will do going forward with that Marvel universe, man. Even if let's say all the games are 85s, I would have 7, 8, 9, 10 85s, then have to wait on like 1 or 2 90s, 1 or 2 95, even a 96. I would much rather have that consistency there because there's always something good to play and you know what you're gonna get with it. But I'm just gonna be real with you, man. Things are looking up. And shout out to Insomniac. They put their hard head on, man. All the teams over there, shout out to them. I'm looking forward to Wolverine in particular. I'm definitely looking forward to Spider-Man 2. I beat Miles Morales, and you saw my boy Miles in there. It's not gonna be co-op. I was speculating that it was gonna be co-op. It's not gonna be co-op, but that's gonna be dope. But yeah, I can't wait for that, man. That's something I'm looking forward to.
I don't think we need to talk about Gran Turismo. Are you a Gran Turismo fan?
No, but it looked nice.
Okay, we could skip that. That's fine. We could skip that. That never showed up to me. I'm gonna be real with you. Let's talk about Spider-Man because we only got God of War after that.
Okay.
For some reason, people were.
I was gonna say we kind of discussed that, right? I'm sorry, my fault.
We didn't really go into it. Like for some reason, I want to talk about people being surprised that Spider-Man was there. Like, I get it. You're surprised because it's like the amount of length since the last one, and I'm not even really like. I guess we would have to go for Miles, but to me, Miles is a smaller project than a full-flown sequel. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to me, the amount of people working on that was probably small. I'm going off of what I see currently. And to me, 2018 is when Spider-Man came out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I started the countdown. 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 4 years. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, no argument here. Not on that.
To me, like, I could see people being, hyped that it's there, but like, did you expect it not to be there in any way, shape, or form, Hustle?
I think we spoke about that. I was almost certain that it would have been there. Oh man, the way that the media hyped this thing up on Twitter and social media, I definitely expected that to be there. I didn't think that we would get a Venom reveal. And hey, I didn't know if you noticed, but when we all were together, that somebody said they heard Kraven. Now,
yes, Kraven was playing.
That went over my head.
He was talking
all the way
in the background the whole time.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, and I'm not familiar with the. I know King was putting me up on game a little bit. He mentioned the multiverse. So I don't want to spoil it, but I hear something does happen to somebody. I won't say who, but I think if you know the multiverse, you kind of know what happens. But I'll just say, man, is it Tony Todd is his name?
I don't know anything about that.
The gentleman who voices Venom, he's done an extremely good job. A lot of people are really receptive toward him.
People was really excited that he was playing Venom.
Yep.
That's another question.
Hey.
Let's say that you do assume. Let's say Tuesday came around and someone told you, "Yo, Spider-Man's going to be at this event." Did you expect Venom there?
Yeah,
That's
only
what
because
I'm saying.
I know.
Like, I don't understand how people were so surprised that Venom was in a Spider-Man game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I would say if I didn't beat 2018, but I did beat Miles Morales. Like at the end of the end credits, they got Harry Osborn. Ooh, at the end of the end credits, Venom is the thing. Let me just say that. Let me chill. I mean that, because I don't even want to get out of the way. I want to let y'all play that. But that Venom is the thing. I just didn't. Oh, I need to be careful. I want to be careful.
We'll go to God of War. We'll go to God of War because I think we've kind of
play Miles Morales, y'all. Play Miles Morales.
I actually thought Miles was a better game than the original Spider-Man. That was me though. Hey. I got butchered for that conversation, but it is what it is. Let's go to God of War.
Alrighty.
Was you disappointed in what you saw, depending on the expectations and the hype that was in your mind?
No, 1,000% that. I said this last week. We knew that they were going to be there. If they wouldn't have been there, boy, Twitter would have been on fire. I don't care if people call this a quote unquote DLC. I don't care. I just want a good game to be a good game. We didn't get a release year on it. This game, well, we know it's going to run at a higher frame rate than the other one. If the other one had ability to where you can choose the frame rates and all that on a PS4 Pro, and it's not a lock 60, this, that, and the third, you know that this one going to run at 60 at least. Atreus, man, that boy been doing his push-ups, right? That boy got big, cuz he got big, and he wants to know more about his origin, man. I'm with it. Like I said, I'm definitely with it. I got a question after you give your thoughts and everything on it. Do you think Kratos is going soft at all? Let's just I'm curious. You know, Kratos, Atreus is leaning on him and wants to know more about who he is. He said, "I don't need you to be a dad. I need you to be a general." And he says, "No." I'm like, "Oh, sir, this ain't the Kratos that I was watching."
I know a lot of people go at that narrative that Kratos is getting soft, but to me, it's like the narrative with Joel telling his name and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like after a certain amount of years, and this has been way more than Joe ever could have lived. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah,
naturally just going to get more soft. Like especially you got to imagine like the mindset of Kratos. He had a kid, he had a wife. Like obviously you I mean I'm sure there's a lot of people in the chat that they they don't have a fake persona with their wife, but they're a lot more comfortable showing a different side with their wife. You know what I'm saying? Like Kratos for years had one goal, one goal only. I'm gonna kill all the Greek mythology gods, and he achieved it. I want to know more about why he lived. That's my thing. But at the end of the day, like after having a kid, having a wife, seeing her die, you're not gonna have that same mindset. And I feel like you see the conflicting things in him where that old Kratos wants to come out, but he still tries to, I got a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like he keeps trying to be in that middle ground. I see that conflicting thing. You know, when God of War spoilers, 2016, I think that's when this game came out. No, God of War did not come out in 2016, did it?
2018. No,
2018. When you fought the stranger, you saw that old Kratos come back out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, look, after a certain amount of time, you're not going to be the same person you was. I'm sure everyone in this chat 10 years ago used a different person.
Indeed.
Imagine that kind of thought process on a bigger scale. Years. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to be different, man. And I get it. Like, I understand people want that hardcore Kratos. He's not there anymore. And you see, like I said with the stranger, how quick he went from the strangers punching him to Kratos just smacked him across the map. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different, man. Like he's a different person, and I actually like that because it shows character development. If I wanted the same Kratos in the 2000s with 1 through 3, doing what Kratos does best, guess what, Hustle? I go play those God of Wars.
Yeah, in the words of Jay-Z, hey, if you want my old stuff, buy my old albums. Now I feel that, but I thought it was important for me to bring that up. And you mentioned character development. I'm actually excited to see this form of Kratos. But I ain't gonna lie though, when Atreus got at him a little bit, I was like, cool. That mean, because what that shows me, because Atreus is a half god, or maybe you have to correct me on that one. He's a demigod. Yes. Well, what it showed me was he ain't the little, like, I ain't gonna say annoying, but he's not that little dude. Like he really ready for that. Like he ready for whatever.
He wants to know what he's capable of. Like, yeah. And then you can see in the trailer that Kratos was like, yo, I've been there. I've killed gods. You don't want that life. Like, he's being a father. Like look, like he's like one of those old time fathers that's like real tough love kind of person. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to it, that person's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I enjoy.
I'm rewatching it now. Oh, go ahead.
Quarter god, half giant. I don't know, man. So Black Ronin said he still seems annoying. I think that's more about he just wants to know who he is. He wants to know who he came from, man. And I love what I saw about it. Now, look, Hustle, did this game look too like the 2018 version?
I mean, yes and no, but I don't care. Like the 2000, if something looked good and you don't have to spend as much time making it necessarily better, but you can make other elements of the visuals. You don't have to mess with the visuals, and you can make everything else better. Then I never trip off that. I'm cool. Like this isn't. I think that when people was overreacting to that, they act like this is like a Far Cry game or something, dog. Like, yo, this God of War. Like, yo, you give Sony Santa Monica some more credit than that. Like, that's what I'm worried about. And I don't know if we're gonna get to it. I don't know if we're gonna have time, but they saw a black girl in there. Y'all relax.
Yeah,
this is fiction.
I could,
Relax.
but I can understand certain people being upset with it. But it's just like at the same
Yeah.
time, like look, like first off, this is a fiction game. Like we can't go like Kratos isn't even supposed to be here. Like so we
Facts.
can change someone's race and it's okay because we put a whole being in this place and he ain't supposed to be here. Do you think Kratos in Norse mythology going around killing people? Tell me that, chat. Do you think he going around killing people? He ain't going around killing gods. Kratos ain't even there.
Facts. Loki isn't even Atreus is Loki, but we all know how Loki is in the Marvel universe. But whatever. Forget all that. Who is the super tall cat that they went to go get? Because I hadn't beat the first one yet.
God of War, apparently. Their God of War.
Gotcha.
So that is
gotcha.
the North mythology of Kratos. And what's funny is Kratos is still half a god. I'm pretty sure he's Zeus's kid. If I remember correctly, I can't remember everything about God of War. So, like, technically, Loki is part giant, part Greek mythology god. I don't know Norse mythology that way, so I don't know. Is Loki like is the what's what I'm looking for? Is the ice giants in them? Are they part gods? Like, I don't know how that goes. Someone in the chat correct me. I don't know. But to me, what I saw was good. What I saw hyped me up to have a PlayStation. Look, I get it. It's on a PS4. I don't care. I got a PS5. I got this. I don't got that other one. So that it's irrelevant what it's on because I only got one system it's going to be on.
Also, side note, I guess, we got the name reveal. People were calling it God of War Ragnarok from jump anyway, but they confirmed it. They confirmed this now. Like I said, no release date, but I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I'll tell you, like when people was making those stupid little videos about boat animations and all that, I don't care about none of that, dog. You get in and out the same way from Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas to Part 3 and then Vice City. You get in and out of the car the same way. And hell, I think it's the same way. Who cares? So relax. If it's already good, then you don't really gotta worry about it. Like, oh, you can fix everything else. They hopped in the belt the wrong way. If y'all don't cut it out, and shout out to Freya, because Freya, yeah, I saw the ending of God of War. She said she was gonna be on Kratos' ass, boy.
She was. You know in that crazy? Trailer, she was on him.
Yo, did she transform from a bird or something, or am I bugging? Because I think she that's wild. And you know what? The whole thing started when like he was trying to get the stranger up because she was about. Ooh, can I spoil that? No, never mind. No, I was gonna spoil the end of the God of War. Kratos was trying to do the right thing, and now he got more trouble. It's more trouble than what it's worth. But whatever. I'm looking forward to it. I don't care if they say they got some type of SJW agenda about this one writing it, that one writing it. Don't harass. We know y'all wouldn't do it, but don't harass none of the writers. Don't harass none of the staff. Dog, just let this art be this art. That's it. That's it, and that's all, man. Like, there's no other way to even. Like, I'm looking at it now, dog. Like, the joint look crazy, cuz. Like, and I love snow levels. Like, I know a few people who I interact with, they don't like the snow stuff. I like the snow stuff. I've always been, like, a fan of that. I've always been a fan of, like, the physics and all that type of stuff. It looks good. It looked like, I don't think that first of all, you got to end the show with this. You definitely got to end the show with this after after the order they had everything in. You had to finish, like, super strong. That was something to behold, man. I look forward to it. Like I said, we got no year though, but I think King he jokingly said 2025.
25.
If this game came out in 2024, it wouldn't surprise me, and I wouldn't even be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it for real.
Yeah. So let's go ahead, give our overall perspective on the show. As far as what the industry was hyping the show, and as far as the content shown to the content that was relevant to the majority of people, do you think the show delivered?
Yes, I got a score. I gave it an 8 out of 10. My only complaint, I know third party had to be there, but I wish they would have put their titles in a better position to be like, well, I mentioned it earlier. PlayStation game is some third party stuff. PlayStation first title game, hit indie stuff. PlayStation first title game is whatever else, and then we finish with God of War. So that would have just been ideal to me. But and I guess you figure you put Wolverine in the middle for like the surprise because nobody saw that coming.
Yeah,
like none of us. That was dope. That was dope. But I wish they would have did it that way. But I'm not gonna nitpick that. good show to me. I had a good time, man. I definitely had a good time watching that.
And I feel like that's the thing we need to notice the most. Like, I do personally feel like, in terms of what the industry hyped, it didn't deliver. But I do feel
Hmm.
like, in terms of what I wanted, it delivered. And I think, I've said multiple times, I don't care what other people want. I care what I want. And what I saw on there, it definitely made me want to. I got a PS5 and I don't need to get rid of it because they showed me stuff I need for it. For those of you that watched IOP a couple weeks ago, Microsoft, I feel like, wouldn't have this kind of show because they always given their best content to other shows, and hopefully throughout the next couple years that will change. But as far as this show, I think it was a solid show. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I'm sticking with that. I think it was, gave us exactly what we needed to see. But let's go ahead and end this up. It was a little bit longer than normal, but we had to talk about a lot about this, man.
It's
So,
cool.
Hustle, where can the people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, Twitter and YouTube. Hustle and Motivate. I will link one of those things in the thing. And thank y'all, man. Like, this a little bit nerve wracking. I can't lie. Like, I wasn't a little nervous in the very beginning, but y'all got my back, man. And it's one of those things, like, Addict, again, man, like, your co-sign has always meant a lot to me. You've always gone out of your way. I'll say this before I go, bruh. Erica tell you, like, we had a conversation. I was gonna stop. I wasn't even gonna do this joint. I wasn't geeked up to even like do this no more. And not even 24 hours later, I forget what episode of Iron Lords it was. You came out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, y'all make sure y'all go follow Hustle and Motivate," and so on and so forth. Having like the actual community behind me, from Fonzarelli to Big Cloud, the Gabe Forte, he was in there, Cog, and all of like the kind words from you guys' community, man. It do mean the world to me, and it make me want to work harder now, man. So, just and knowing that the team want me. I mean, it wasn't just you. It's like everybody was like, yeah, you bring Hustle in the fold a little bit to be a part of the community nights, to be a part of everything that you guys are doing. Yeah. Hey, look, man, I'll do my best. I'm gonna do my best. I promise you that. I promise you that the effort will be there, man. And I'm excited. I'm excited, man. What's up? What's up?
It's like I said, man. You was always definitely top of the candidates. And it's like I said, I wanted energy, I wanted passion, and availability. And it's hard to get all of them. Someone might have more energy, but they don't have enough passion. Someone might have more passion and more energy, but they ain't never available. So
Yeah.
when it comes to doing this, you got to find someone that fits your chemistry. And we've always had good chemistry. And you got to find someone that's available. And
Indeed.
I don't want to work with people that I can't rely on. And it's one thing that you miss an episode or two, but it's just like you can't miss weekly. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think people realize the commitment podcasting has. I can't do anything between 5 to 7 because that's the window. We don't normally go to 7, but we can't do anything from that Tuesdays because I gotta host it. Right, look at from Cognito's perspective. Cognito can't do anything Sunday because he's hosting ILP. I could boat out early on ILP if I have something I have to do. Cognito, not so much. Especially the host. There's a lot goes into this. There's a lot of prepping going in. Cognito spends so much time prepping all the time. Shout out to him. Those intros came straight from Cognito. He's the one that developed that style. He's the one that went that direction. A lot of goes into this podcasting stuff, and we wouldn't be anywhere without the community itself. We had about 170 in here. I appreciate everyone for coming through, man. Definitely go follow Hustle. I'm going to most likely put like a little section in the description for the Addict Show where we're going to be at. So definitely follow our social medias. And, until next week, this is Get Me Addict and Hustle.